Hello, Leo, and welcome to your April 2023 reading. This is a collective reading for April, or for Leo's sun or rising signs. So we are keeping with the format that I've been using for the last couple of months now for the format. Just feels good. As long as it keeps feeling good and right, then we'll just keep doing it. So we're taking a look at how this message is being directed because it is a collective reading, and it can sometimes just be a little hard for some people to place like where in my life should this be applied to. So this gives us some themes to kind of direct your energy and attention towards. We're also going to lay out some cards for how the month is looking, like how it's progressing. So for my Leos, sun and rising, how is this looking? For Leo, sun and rising. I was feeling that card there. All right. Sweet. So, interesting, Leos. Interesting. Looks like some possible deep work going on here. What challenge is coming up for my Leos? Feeling this card here. And the spiritual advice that is also coming through. Let's go time. Okay. We might pull a couple of extra cards for clarification as we go through. It just depends on what I'm feeling intuitively. So, all right, Leos. Leo sun, Leo rising. So where in your life can we actually apply these themes? And what we're looking at here is the 12th house. So, 12th house having to do with like definitely a house that's known for its spirituality, for faith, for letting go, for trusting in, universe, God, goddess, whatever it is that you believe in, some kind of cosmic power or cosmic order to things. Definitely a card that has to do with also, nature as a part of that. Nature, expansiveness, definitely like this oneness merging kind of energy, which also can lead into like altered states of consciousness, like for instance, like medicine journeys, working with entheogens, things like that. It can also have to do with life feeling, it's like it wants to be boundless. It wants to just be. It's a very sensitive house, and life can feel really overwhelming in the 12th house. It can feel really sensitive and deep, very internal, very introspective and very internal. Deals with like our psyche, our subconscious. Also can deal with psychosis and the ways in which we escape and run away because we need a break in the 12th house. The 12th house is like, this is too much. The angular world of logic is too much. I need a break. And that can sometimes come out in ways where we look to escape instead of saying like maybe going for a walk in nature. We might overdo it with Netflix binging and wasting our days away, or substances that we overdo it with, And in and of itself, like certain substances, like for instance, like alcohol or something, they're not inherently bad. It's just when we're using them in a way where the escapism is really taking us away from our clarity and our ability to show up in the world and to be here. Or like Netflix, like we're going for 3 days straight, blinds shut, in the dark. I don't know who does this, but I'm sure someone out there does, right? But it's just like watching it, binging Netflix for days on end. And it's like, okay, like there's a limit to where escapism is now not working. It's not healthy. It's not a relief. It's something else, right? So it deals with all of these themes, right? So definitely want to look at where those themes are popping up for you, which ones you typically deal with, or like what's actually coming up for you in that space, right? So again, remember all of the really like beautiful things that I said about the 12th house. Like people tend to focus on the 12th house and like its shadow aspects, but there's some really beautiful pieces there too. So Leo, in the beginning third of the month, what we have showing up for you is the 7 of Pentacles, right? 7 of Pentacles, it's like you've been putting some time, work, and attention into creating and building and growing something, probably having to do with your your work or your studies or your finances, right? But just like the world of the tangible, like you've been putting time, energy, and attention into it and kind of starting to see some of the blossoms come forward, but just knowing that it's not done yet. Like it's not time to harvest yet. You're needing to put in more time and patience. Like just know that it's not, you just need to have some more patience. At the beginning of the month, it might feel like, God, I've been putting all of this work and time in, and I kind of just, like I'm tired, and it's like, how much longer is this gonna take? Just remember that we came out of a lot of stuff in the month of March. Like the astrology there was pretty intense. It was a lot, it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. So you want to make sure that you just know that it's gonna feel like maybe you want things like, when is this going to happen? And it might take some more time, more patience. And then we come into looking at the Hanged Man in the middle of the month, right? And the Hanged Man, as much as people talk about this feeling stuck, and maybe you do, maybe you're like, oh, things are not progressing as fast as I would like them to, like how much longer is this going to take? And then, you get to the middle of the month and you might feeling like I'm pigeonholed or something like that. This card also, however, represents coming back to a place of like, needing to pause for a reason so that you can get the downloads that you need to get from your universe, from your guides, from yourself, like to gain some inspiration, to come into a more conscious and aligned place, to receive the wisdom that we need to receive. Sometimes we need to feel like we're like stopped in one place for just a period of time, right? I think that, we come into the end of the month and things are maybe not feeling and looking exactly how you would want them to. I know that this card also is like, it's one of the ones in the deck that people go, oh no. And I get it. It's not like I don't have those oh no moments when I pull these cards myself for a second. However, this doesn't have to mean like the greatest heartbreak of your life or anything like that. This could just mean like feeling disappointed, feeling like, things aren't going according to plan, or certain things that were a part of the plan are not going to get to be a part of the plan. And that's disappointing, and it feels frustrating, and it feels, like maybe you do feel like some heartache. Maybe you've been working really hard on a project or creating something, and you just realize like part of that has to be chopped off, and you're not going to be able to like really deliver on something or to bring something through. And that's really disappointing to you because it was something you were excited about or you were really invested in, and really that's all this is, whether it has to do with people in your life or projects or whatever it is. I think it really has to do more with, everything that you have going on in your world, and needing to kind of return back to a sense of like whatever spirituality means for you, however you're able to let go and allow for things to happen as they're going to happen. Not to say you just sit back and passively accept anything that happens, but I mean just like to be in a space of trusting. And I know that that can be really hard. Trust me, I really do know how that can be hard. But maybe you need to slow things down, get into a space of like, if you're someone who's into medicine journeys and working with entheogens and going into altered states of consciousness through that, or through meditation, or things of that nature, then do those things and return to those places so that you can get the kind of insight that you need, and also to help you navigate the things that are not going to pan out exactly the way that maybe you had hoped. I kind of feel like connected to this particular card, we have the Page of Cups showing up in the challenge position, and I just think that there are things that you were imagining, that you were daydreaming about, that you had your hopes and set on, that you were, like a more youthful, like daydreaming, wanting something to happen, wanting things to go according to plan kind of a thing. And some of those things are, not really coming through the way that you exactly wanted, and you might even feel a little bit clouded by that, a little bit, of a confusion around that. And that might be why you're experiencing this sense of like kind of just disappointment with things, and it's okay. Like the spiritual advice that you're getting is like, hey, you just keep going. Like you've got the green light to keep going. It's just that certain things may be feeling cloudy. You might be feeling a little stuck or like wanting things to move at a pace that's, you know, different than how it's occurring, or certain things are just feeling disappointing, and you're still getting the green lights to keep going. You know, like this is a very like shoot towards what feels like creative and passionate and inspired, and just keep focusing on those things, you know. And I think that it's also giving you the green light with like being inside of this world. I think you need to be inside of this energy some. I think something about that is going to help you tap into your sense of, you know, feeling re-inspired and being in your creativity and feeling that like desire. Like this is the thing about the wands shooting up. It's like the wands are creativity, their inspiration, their creativity, and like feeling this fire and this passion and this desire to go towards something. And sometimes it's like we need to feel reignited. So I think that there are some things that are speaking to like what needs to happen in order for you to do that, and to know that just because certain things slow down, or they're not going at the pace that you want, or certain things don't show up the way that you had envisioned them and daydreamed about them, doesn't mean that you should just put it all to the side and stop. You're still getting the green light to go. So just tap back into that sense of like, however you can tap back into your inspiration and your creativity and your fire. So that's the way to go. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Don't want to let the reading go without saying that. So, you know, if this is feeling like it's resonant with you, and you want to get like more of a picture of like what this all is, you know, definitely I would say get a personal reading. I have 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. Those are down below. But also check out the last reading that I did for the moon reading for this towards the end of the month in March, and that can help you get a bigger picture of like what's going on. Or if this is your sun sign, check out your rising sign and see how that is. In a few more days after these get released, it'll be the next moon phase, and I will have new videos up for that moon phase. So be sure to like, you know, hit the subscribe, hit the notifications, all the things, so that you know when the videos are coming out. So thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.